What is up, Frag fam? Corbin here again from Northwest Scent. So it is Monday, which means it is time for the weekly fragrance haul. I know here more recently it's been the bi-monthly fragrance haul, and that's just because like last Monday and then 2 Mondays before that we skipped the video, but again, not every single week I'm necessarily getting in enough fragrances to make this. However, if you factor in last week and the week before, I picked up about 10 new fragrances, and for the most part, they're niche fragrances with some indies sprinkled in there, and I think one designer. So a pretty exciting haul overall, and if you guys want to hear all about it and see what I picked up, please stick around and watch the entire video. But first, let's roll that intro. Alright guys, welcome back from the intro, and like I said, this is the weekly fragrance haul, episode 8. A few of the fragrances here on this list have actually been on my to buy list here for a while, and I finally went ahead and scooped them up, so really excited to get these finally and talk to you guys about them. With all that out of the way, let's jump into the first fragrance. So the first fragrance I picked up, and this is about a week and a half ago, so the first fragrance that I picked up within this haul, this one is coming from Amouage, and this is Bracken Man, and this is one of the fragrances, man, that smells good, that I was talking about that has been on my to buy list for a while. So this is actually an aromatic fougere, and I absolutely love the bottle. If you guys take a closer look, there's actually some artwork on it. It's actually a fern, so it's telling you what it's supposed to smell like. This is an awesome greener barbershop fragrance, so it's not so much on that soapy shaving foam side of things. It's a lot greener and earthier. You do get lavender in here, of course. You get oak moss. I think there's a little bit of citrus in here, so you get all of the standard notes that you would get within a fougere. There might be some tonka bean or even cardamom in here to add a sweet spice, but a very dominant note in here is cloves. And if you don't like cloves, you're definitely not gonna like this one, because this is clove forward along with that lavender and then that oak moss as well. So it's very, very spicy, but it's very earthy as well. The lavender here, it's a little bit kind of clean and soapy, but it's not so much, like I said, on that like shaving foam side of things. You get a very prominent earthy, almost like soil tincture thing going on in here. So earthy, sweet, spicy, a little bit clean, an awesome aromatic fougere, very gentlemanly and dressed up smelling. Definitely one that you guys should check out if you're into that genre of fragrances. And that was my first pickup within this haul. So again, this is Amouage Bracken Man. So the next pickup is a Penhaligon's fragrance, which I've talked about this recently. Penhaligon's is a house that I've been trying to get more into. This is one from the Portraits collection, and it's called The Duke. So as you guys can see, it has the dog head, really awesome kind of purple looking juice. As far as the scent, this one is pretty simple on the note breakdown. You have gin in here, there's woody notes, black pepper, and then a little bit of rose with some other notes, I believe, but it's not super complex as far as the notes go. It smells really high quality for what it is, and this actually has a pretty strong resemblance to Creed Royal Mayfair, and I know that's not the most popular Creed fragrance. Some people say it's very medicinal and old man smelling. This is actually missing the eucalyptus, which gives Royal Mayfair kind of that icy but medicinal smell that a lot of people are put off from. So if you are kind of into that fragrance, but maybe after something without that medicinal side, this would be an awesome alternative. Like I said, this is basically that fragrance with that medicinal side removed. Smells awesome though. I really am glad to have this in my collection. I don't necessarily find it redundant just because that large medicinal smell in Royal Mayfair again is missing here, and that's a big component of that fragrance. So a little bit rosy, a little bit boozy, spicy with a woodiness. Smells really nice and high quality. And that was my second pickup within this haul. Again, from Penhaligon's, this is The Duke. Okay, so for the next portion of my haul, I was actually sent 3 fragrances from Authenticity Perfumes, so independent brand. If you guys haven't checked them out, they make nice, affordable fragrances that are decently unique anyway. Like I said, they sent me 3 fragrances. The first one was this one right here called Barbershop, and this is exactly what it says it is. It's basically like a soapy barbershop fragrance. This is definitely, again, on that soapy side. There's not really anything green or earthy or like plant-like smelling about this. It's very, very clean smelling, not very creamy like some barbershop fragrances are. This is a lot more on that fresh, soapy side with a little bit of a spiciness. It's a little bit sweet as well. Very pleasant and clean smelling. Not my favorite barbershop fragrance I've ever smelled, but it's completely inoffensive. Smells really, really, really nice. And like I said, something that you would wear if you're trying to just smell very clean and out of the shower. So that's the first one that they sent me. And then the next one, again in the same haul, is this one called Silver Lux. And I really like this one a lot. Man, this is like a creamy tropical fragrance. So you get some tropical fruits in here. Like I said, it's kind of creamy. I think there's coconut at the same time, adding that creamy vibe, but it's not like a suntan lotion style of coconut note, which I know for some people is pretty off-putting. It just adds a very nice tropical feel to the fragrance. And like I said, it's very fruity and sweet. It's almost candy sweet in a way, but I don't think it's too much. I think it smells really nice, really well blended, and honestly, a very unique scent. I've never smelled anything that smells like Silver Lux, and this is one of my new favorites from the house, so I'm really glad that they sent me this one. Again, this is called Silver Lux from Authenticity Perfumes. And then the last one, which this is my current favorite from the entire house, this is just the original Authenticity. And man, does that smell good. So you get some tropical fruits in here as well actually, but it doesn't really smell the same as Silver Lux. So you get pineapple in here, there's actually orange as well. And then you get some woods in the dry down like sandalwood, and I think there's a little bit of cedar as well. So this is very juicy, sweet and fruity, but as it dries down, you get kind of this creamy woodiness in the backbone, and it's a little bit kind of spicy at the same time coming from that cedar. So a really nice, again, fruity, creamy, woody scent with a little bit of a spice. Very unique as well. And again, this is my favorite from the house currently. This is called Authenticity. Okay, so the next fragrance I picked up, this is one of my current absolute favorites from this entire haul. This is one that I was really excited to pick up. This is a brand new release. It's coming from the house of Beach Giza. This is the brand new Jet Set. And as you guys can see here, this is bottle number 17 from the manufacturing line, so I'm pretty pumped to have one of the first bottles. Man, does this smell so good. So this is a barbershop fragrance that is missing lavender, which technically makes it not a barbershop fragrance because you're supposed to have lavender and then oak moss along with some like tonka bean, usually for a fougere or a barbershop fragrance, but I would still totally classify this as such. It's extremely soapy, but it's very green at the same time. But the unique thing with this one is it has kind of a tropical feel. So it's like barbershop meets like a tropical setting because there's sea salt in here. You get a little bit of sweet orange, so you get this nice kind of sweet fruitiness, but the sea salt for me is really what separates it. I believe he's using actual sea salt in the scent. I could be wrong, but I know with some other fragrances that he has made before, he's using actual sea salt and you can see it in the bottle. Man, does this smell good. So this is soapy and green, but like I said, it's got this sweet fruitiness. The saltiness almost gives you like this chlorine style smell. It's almost reminiscent of like a swimming pool, but it does not smell exactly like that. And I know that might sound off-putting, so that's just kind of a vague descriptor. It smells really, really nice though, really unique at the same time. So if you're after a unique fougere or barbershop style fragrance, definitely check this new release out from Beach Giza. Again, one of my current favorites. This is Jet Set. Okay, so moving on to the next fragrances, I actually picked up 2 Kilians this week, which Kilian is another house that I've been wanting to dive a little bit more into. This is a really awesome discontinued fragrance from the house that I was really excited to pick up. This is Incense Oud. And man, this is really high quality smelling. So you get this nice smoky incense. There's a little bit of this jammy rose, but it's not too jammy where it's like headache inducing, because traditionally I'm not huge fans of those jammy rose style of fragrances, but really well done rose. And there's oud in here as well, so it's like an oud rose fragrance with this nice smoky incense. There's a little bit of this sweet spiciness in here as well. It's not super complex, there's not like a ton going on, but for what's here, it smells absolutely fantastic. Really happy to pick this one up. Again, this one is discontinued, so really hard to find, but I picked it up this week. Again, this is Incense Oud. And then the other fragrance I picked up, again from Kilian, this is Smoke for the Soul, which I don't know if this one is discontinued or not, but I know it's pretty hard to find right now. And actually, as you guys can see, I picked up a tester right here just to save a little bit of money, but I still get the cap, and that's all I really care about. So this is a green aromatic cannabis fragrance, believe it or not. So there's cannabis in here. There's some other green kind of coniferous style of notes. It's a little bit spicy and oily as well, or soily I should say. Not oily, excuse me, but really kind of unique smelling. I've never really smelled anything that is this green and smoky. You really can kind of get that cannabis note in here. It doesn't smell just like cannabis, but you can definitely pick it out. But like I said, you get some other greener kind of woody notes supporting it, and there's a little bit of the spiciness as well. A very faint touch of sweetness as well, but for the most part, this is on the drier side. Really unique and artful at the same time, so I definitely give it props for that. And that was the second Kilian I picked up this week. So again, this is Smoke for the Soul. Okay, so we're on to the second to last fragrance for this haul, and this is another house that I've been talking about recently that I've been wanting to explore more and actually dive into. So this one is from the house of Diptyque. This is Philosykos Eau de Parfum. And oh my gosh, this is one of the most natural smelling fragrances I've just ever smelled in general. It is a fig-based fragrance. That's kind of behind the name Philosykos. So you get fig fruit in here. There's also fig leaf and fig tree. So this is supposed to smell like the entire plant or the whole tree basically. really green and fruity at the same time. There's a little bit of this creaminess coming from some coconut, and there's a little bit of like this woodiness as well. Like I said, this really smells like the entire plant, but you can almost envision the fig fruit with like that kind of milky sap that it has. So it's creamy, it's sweet, it's kind of got this sticky smell to it in a way, but it smells really, really nice. And like I said, extremely natural smelling. This literally smells like a fig. Like it smells like they juiced a fig, poured it here into this bottle, and added some like woody sap to give you kind of that green woody side. So it smells really, really nice. If you guys are looking for something really unique and fruity and just extremely inoffensive, like I could not imagine anybody disliking the way this smells. Man, it is just a killer fragrance. So I'm really glad I finally had this one. Again, from the house of Diptyque, this is Philosykos. Okay, so we're finally here at the last fragrance, and this is the designer fragrance, the sole designer fragrance that I was talking about earlier. However, this is a house that I kind of consider niche at the same time because the fragrances they put out are very unique and kind of situational smelling, really high quality at the same time, and this is one of my favorite houses. This might have already given it away, but the fragrance is coming from the house of Comme de Garcons. This is Incense Kyoto, and wow. Just wow, this is an awesome woody fragrance. Smells very reminiscent of like an old cabin, you know, where you go in, it's a little bit dusty smelling, not necessarily rotten, but just kind of old and ancient, but very woody and green at the same time. You get this nice smoky incense in here, hence the name of, you know, Incense Kyoto, which this is actually a line of fragrances. There's about 4 or 5 within this incense line where they're going after different kind of like religious smells, I guess you could say. It's supposed to be going after something along those lines, but in this case, it is very smoky and woody and green and very, very realistic smelling. So if you're after something that smells like the woods, like an old cabin, but has this nice kind of smoky side to it, a little bit of a spiciness at the same time, definitely check this one out. I have not given it a full wearing, and actually most of these I have not given full wearings yet, so I can't really speak to performance. But as far as the scent goes, very high quality and very realistic smelling, and this is definitely the style of DNA that I really dig. So again, my last pickup here in this haul from the house of Comme de Garcons, this is Incense Kyoto. Well, there you guys go. That was my weekly fragrance haul, episode 8. I really hope you guys enjoyed this video, and if you did, or maybe if you found it helpful or useful, I would really appreciate if you could drop a like on the video just to show your support, and then that way more people can see my videos on YouTube. Additionally, if you want to write a comment, maybe just let me know your thoughts, as well as some new video ideas or topics, that would be great too. And since you're down there doing all that stuff, if you've not already, if you could hit the subscribe button and then the bell notification, that would be amazing. That way you stay up to date on new videos whenever they get released going forward. But with all that out of the way, that's all I really have for you guys today. So I hope you have a good one. Stay healthy, stay wealthy, and smell great.